Hello, hello, Johnny.
What's up, man?
Good. How you do? How you been doing? We haven't talked
Good.
for a week.
It's
What's
all
go?
right.
Everything good for during the week?
Life goes on,
That's right. Everybody's got their
Daily
stuff to do.
duties have to be fulfilled
Yeah, that's right.
and all that. So, you know, it's going.
That's right.
How about you?
Busy. Working, getting ready for my move. A lot of stuff on my mind, dealing with a lot of stuff. But just like you said, life goes on. Got to take care of what we got to take care of. So
Exactly.
we're both men of the family. So
Yeah.
got to do what we got to do.
Some interesting
Okay.
times coming soon.
Yeah, so we're welcoming everybody to the second episode of our podcast. Hopefully, this one will be a little bit better than the first one. The first one was just an introduction. We got a tough subject to talk about. We picked a subject that's, I think, important to everybody on the left, on the right. It's the voting rights bill that the Democrats are trying to push through. They pushed it through the House. They're trying to get it passed in the Senate, but they're having trouble, which I'm personally happy about that they're having trouble, and I hope that thing doesn't go in and doesn't pass. And we'll tell you a little bit about it and why we think that way in a couple of seconds.
Yes. Exactly.
So, what do we know, Johnny? What do you know?
Uh, so we know that they are trying to implement some changes to the way how we vote right now, which could tell a lot of things if you read between the lines, you know. And I wanted to talk about what kind of things we could tell from the moves that they're trying to implement. Um, and the only from one thing I want to start is uh, that voting is a very important thing that we can do, and um, it still matters. And the thing and the whole thing that they're trying to do, the changes and all that, that proves it. That proves that it's still they still have to account to what we say as a citizen, as a people, which is a good thing, which is a very good thing, because we could, if they didn't need our votes, they wouldn't want to change anything.
Yeah, I
If
agree.
if they could set up everything that it could go their way uh, without without the without our votes or the way how we voted, uh, we could be in trouble. So it means that the system is still working and we still in power. And the minute that they not gonna worry about how we're gonna vote, and uh, we're gonna be in really big trouble, because pretty much this is the only one power that we have as people over them. You know,
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
true.
those moves are definitely saying that we still have something,
Yeah, that's
which is
right.
a very good thing
We
in
were
my
both
opinion.
we were both worried that the elections are at a point where, like you mentioned, the vote
Yeah, it
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter.
anymore, and some people even kept saying that they're not going to vote anymore because it just doesn't matter and stuff like that. We don't want to talk about the details because it doesn't make sense to do it in this podcast. But um, because they're putting such pressure to push this bill through, that's why we can see, like you said, that the vote matters. It still matters. And that's why they're fighting to put those changes in. So the big thing is every state right now is responsible for their own election rights. The main thing that that bill wants to do is they want to federalize the election. So
Yes,
the
and
yeah,
historically it was set up this way because it's much safer option. It's much more difficult to overwhelm or um, somehow interact with all the different systems. if it was centralized, it would be much easier to manipulate the whole thing, you
That's
know?
right. That's right.
So if you have so many different systems and it's dependent on the people of each state, it is much, much more difficult to, rig it
Yeah.
simply,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
I agree 100%.
So, from what we can read, and if they're trying to uh, do it on a federal level, kind of centralize it, it kind of says already why they would be able, why would they want to do this way, you know?
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you.
This is what
Um,
I see
no, no, no.
from it. This is how I read it, you know?
I see pretty much the same thing you're saying. And we have similar views, as you know, you and me, we have similar views, similar political views, maybe not exactly the same, but very close. I mean, we're both conservatives. We're not crazy conservatives. We're just normal people looking for as much freedom as we can have, the least amount of regulations from the government and stuff like that. So it's nothing major, nothing crazy. But
Mhm.
what I wanted to say is because they want to push these changes through, the Democrat Party, there's been so much talk that this is going to be like a bloodbath for Republicans, that there is a huge chance of them taking back the House and the Senate. And they're so scared of that because then, if that happens and the Republicans take the Senate and the House, what happens is then Biden is in the office for 2 years and he cannot do anything. He can't do anything. Even if he pushes an order, an executive order through, the Senate and the House could stop it. If they have enough votes, they can stop it, and he can't even push those through if he wants to. So that's a huge threat to them. And like I told you before, I wanted to show two little videos, two little clips
Mhm.
of Biden talking, which is crazy because he was, the Democrats were accusing Trump of always saying that the election was rigged and all that other stuff. And we're not saying that it was, we're not saying that it wasn't. We're in between, but he was, all the Democrats were saying you can't do that, the elections are good and all that other stuff. So now Biden himself is saying that there's a possibility of the elections being rigged. So hypocrite that he is, you can see it right in the video. So just
Yes,
check this
but
out real quick.
if you hold on just for a
Yeah,
minute,
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
uh, this kind of tells you what would be the narrative of theirs right after if they lose the midterm elections.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know,
They're
that
already
tells you
preparing
exactly
for
what
it.
they're trying to do.
They're
How
already
they're
they're already
trying to,
preparing for it. They're laying the
you know, and
foundation for it.
yeah, saying if they lose, they will be saying that it was manipulated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And from one reason, I'd say, we have our opinion about what happened in the presidential elections, and a lot of people think different ways. And maybe Trump and his maybe Trump just didn't do anything, uh, just simply because if he did, they would have a kind of the same open window to go through too. And the other saying, I don't know if you kind of understand what I'm trying to message you. That if he would try, he kind of accepted despite being uh, legit or not legit presidential elections, he accepted it and he dealt with it a different way. They accepted it and prepared for this and that and what we're doing over here. And so if the midterm elections are going to go towards the Republican side, Biden is not going to be able to um, kind of confront it on a maybe legal level. Uh, he's just going to be able to say, just like Trump says all the time, that the elections were not um, uh, totally legal, and a lot of things happen over there, and this is the only thing pretty much what he's going to be able to say.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So maybe that's what kept me kind of that was sweeping through my mind today when I was thinking about it. That maybe that's why he didn't do much more than I would think. I'm talking about Trump.
Yeah.
That and more people would think that he should do. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe that's the reason why they didn't knock Biden down as a presidential seat. You know, because they wanted to, because then simply because the other side, left side, would suddenly start saying, oh, they had influence, they probably bribed somebody, and this and that, and it would just not be really much beneficial. It's the way how now it goes, and let's say if the Republican side will win, it is going to be much more cleaner, um, taking over cleaner way to take over the government, like
Yeah.
to take back the government,
Yeah, no,
not take
I
over.
agree. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can I roll my clip?
Go ahead.
So this one is
All righty, let's go. Let's
this
see.
one is of Biden,
Let's
already
see
saying
what do you have.
that the election might be illegitimate. Just listen to this.
Senator Coons, I want to turn to President Biden. Democrats have been united against former President Trump's efforts to cast doubt on the last election. But in his press conference, President Biden cast some doubt of his own about the next one. Let's listen.
All depends on whether or not we're able to make the case to the American people that some of this is being set up to try to alter the outcome of the election.
He tried to walk that back, but was the damage done?
You see what he said? It was that they have to push the narrative that if the Republicans win, that it was all done, all these Republican changes to protect elections, they were done to influence the election. So that's one. And then another clip I'm going to roll right now, which is also very short, is I don't know, do you know this the Senator Elizabeth Warren?
Mm, maybe I don't really remember
She
by
was
the.
she's the one that recently had a back and forth with Elon Musk on Twitter.
Oh yeah. I know.
Okay,
I know
so
her
that's
now.
her.
Okay.
Now she's on a show here on CBS, I think, and they're talking. She's talking to some reporters, and one of them says that you're going to lose the House and the Senate, and she kind of flips out. But just watch this. It's kind of funny.
Okay, let me
Okay.
ask you about 2024. Do you believe that President Biden is up for the job?
President Biden's running for re-election. I expect to support him. His approval ratings are some of the lowest that they've been for a very long time. I understand that, but remember, we've just finished the first quarter. We're just starting into the second quarter here. So we've got a lot of time, a lot of work in front of us.
Oh, but you only have probably less than a year
Yes.
Before you lose both the Senate and the House. All the polls,
bite your
the polls
tongue.
are very,
Bite your
very, very
tongue.
bad, right? I mean, the Gallup had a poll
Wow.
recently.
Bite your
Well, he's
tongue.
like, and he's like, did you see him?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was like, did I say something wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, wasn't I supposed to say anything?
That's it. It's kind of crazy, but the
Because it's kind
reaction,
of obvious,
yeah, the reaction says it all. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
I
A
tell you
lot
what.
of people think that. The liberal media thinks that. It's insane.
I tell you what. I have no idea how they explain those things to people that agree to the whole thing. You know, I cannot even imagine the mindset of a person that agrees to that. Simply, it's kind of the same thing as remember. Okay, it's like when you have to take a jab, right? Ouchie Fauci. If you take an ouchie Fauci, you have to have like ID for it, right? You have to have the little piece of paper,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have to have that little piece of paper
For the
to go.
card, you got to show
Yeah,
your
the
ID,
card
like you're
you
saying, to
have to
prove that the
show,
card is you. Yeah,
and if you want to go to the restaurant, certain places, you have to have that card. It's a form of ID of checking your persona,
yeah,
verifying your persona, and they want to they want to take out the ID check when you vote. And this is saying a lot about about uh, how those voting methods they want them to be.
Let me ask you a question.
And it's the same thing with the fences that they put up around the White House, and they saying, "Oh, we have to open the borders." Trump uh, wanted to make a big fence around the country, and we have to open the fences and let in the people. But what do? Have they have huge fences, and for the last couple of weeks, they've been putting some crazy fencing around the White House. So pretty much what happens over there, just like with anything, with the voting bill that they're trying to do, with the fence, what they're trying to do, with ID, what they're trying to do. They say one thing to us, to people, and trying to explain to us a certain way how to do stuff, and they do exactly the other way
Yeah, the
around
opposite
themselves,
of
around their circle.
what they don't want us to do. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, the bill itself is almost 600 pages. I sent you a copy. You saw that's
Oh
like
yeah.
592 pages.
Uh,
So I skimmed through it. I didn't read it. I'm not going to read 600 pages, but
you
I
wanted
want to.
me to read it,
I no,
bastard.
I just wanted you to
No,
have
you
it.
wanted
So
me to read it.
oh, whatever. But listen to this.
You were like, you're not gonna read it?
Listen to what I found in the bill.
Okay.
So, like you said, they never wanted a voter ID. They never did. The Democrat side never wanted a voter ID. But for months now, they see how many people are for voter ID, even on their side. So they're trying to be their little Democrat weasels. And they actually put language in the bill that says that they want a federal voter ID. So they want a federal voter ID, but the catch is when they actually put a list of documents accepted to prove who you are so you can receive a voter ID. Okay? So these are some of the documents that they allow you to have to get that voter ID.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
One of them is a driver's license, which fine. I
Okay.
mean, it's a federal document and stuff like that.
Okay.
But there's always also one catch in that regard because
Okay.
let just for example, in New York, they're allowing illegals to get a driver's license now. So you can have a driver's license without even
Illegals.
having a green card and being a resident, and a resident is not even permitted to vote. So if they go there and they show their driver's license, what they could get a voter ID? That's kind of insane. State
But
issued ID card, that's
okay.
normal. United States passport or passport card, so that's good because you get a background check on that. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Employee identification card from a government agency. If you work for
This
a
is
government, go
this
ahead.
is instead of this
No,
is
no, no.
or
You
this
have to
and
you have
that.
to no,
Oh, oh.
you have to have this to be able these
So you have to
documents
work from a
supposedly
government?
these documents supposedly prove your identity so you could get a voter ID.
Oh, okay.
If you work for a government agency, that's one of the documents that you could show.
Oh, okay.
But listen to these. A student ID.
Okay.
You could
Then you
have a
can.
student ID card.
Okay.
Students have been faking ID cards for years.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a problem. It's a
But
piece of freaking cake.
and we have foreign students that are not really a citizens.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah,
have
that's true.
a student visa
Yeah,
too,
yeah, they're green card
and
holders.
yeah,
Agree. I
not
agree.
even green card. Like green card holders cannot vote. Which is another crazy thing,
Yeah,
right?
but
Green
one thing you
cards,
got to understand,
yeah,
student ID, they're not only talking about college, they included high school student ID as well. So that's even funnier.
right,
They're saying high
yeah,
school student ID is fine too. So that's another one. A military ID, fine. A gun license, fine. You get a background check. I agree with that one.
right.
A birth certificate, fine. I agree with that one. But look into this. A hunting or fishing license.
Wow,
That's another one which I don't agree with. A bank card or a debit card. Listen, there's
wow.
about 8 banks right now in the United States that don't even require a social security number to open an account,
So
to
it's
get a
like an
credit card.
overriding
Yeah,
for the illegal people
yeah,
to
but
be able to vote, pretty
the,
much.
the problem is a lot of American people, whether it be on the left or on the right, they don't understand how easy it is to forge all this stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
so easy to forge
regular
all this
bread
stuff.
eater,
It's
regular bread eater don't even know about like how uh people that legally are here, how they live and how they go by, you
yeah,
know.
it's insane.
And like I came across so many people that they know on the TV that there are illegal people here, but they have absolutely no idea. They see them every single day.
Yeah,
They think it's just like actually, they think all of the people that walk around, they're illegal over here because they walk around over here. They cannot even imagine.
yeah. Most people think that. You're right.
Yeah. And what you're saying is over here, if they want to try to push it, is just pretty much everybody, uh, as you said, there's so many banks that they don't require social security to
Yeah,
have
you
an
could get a
account.
you could get a credit
So
card with no social security at Bank of America, bro.
yeah, so all right, so pretty much what happens is that some guy jumps the fence either from Canadian or Mexican side, right? He goes in and he goes like, hello, I'd like to have a bank account. Can you make a bank account? They're gonna make him a bank account because they want to make money off of him, right? So he's gonna get that little credit card, and he's gonna go for the voting thing, right? And he's gonna vote for the people that they're gonna promise him something, you know.
It's
And this
like
is
they're
what they
gonna
want to
promise him
do.
an immigration bill.
This is what they want to do, you
Yeah,
know. This is what they because in my opinion, they don't have any idea, man. They don't have any idea how to play it out,
yeah.
and they're just grabbing the last floating piece of wood in the ocean just to do something, you know. So what they're trying to do is open a little gate, you know, just not lock the gate for other people that now cannot vote. And also, in my opinion, they're trying to leave some paths that are not necessarily legal to just overwhelm uh, the system with votes that they're on their side, you know.
Yeah,
This is how
I
it looks
agree.
like,
But
you know.
listen, even the documents that I mentioned, that they're not the worst. There was one that's worse than all of these that I mentioned.
Hate
Okay, a utility bill with your name on it.
me.
So you could have a cable bill, you bring that in with your name on it,
Yeah.
or a gas bill or an electric bill, and that's enough.
See, because
It's insane.
but listen, regular people that live here for all their lives, this is like a normal thing for them, you know. And they think that's nothing really wrong about with it, you know. But they don't see, if you think about it, just like the things I just said, they don't see the deeper side, how it could be dangerous, you know. Uh, I don't know how else to explain this thing, you know. It's just
Oh, but listen, let
it
me
is
ask you a
just so
question.
obvious. Like, you know, if the problem is that people don't get into it and they don't try to think about it. They just don't stop for a minute and like, hold on, let me think that through, and just think about it for 5 minutes. And why would you want to do stuff like this?
Yeah,
And that says all. That's all that you have to know, pretty much, about people that they want to try to change or make those changes over here. You know,
I agree.
that's pretty much how much you need to know not to vote for them. You know.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I can see that a lot of people are switching their minds, and a lot of people, even on the left, the Democrats that voted for the guy that's in the White House. I'm not even going to say his name again because I've said it once in this podcast, and I think that's too much. But um, a lot of people that voted for the guy, they're not happy with all the stuff that he's doing. Democracy is democracy, and that's all they talk about. And that's democracy is, you can do whatever you want. It's freedom. That's what democracy is supposed to be. And instead of freedom, they tell you what to do. And if you don't do what they tell you to do, you lose your job. If you don't do what they tell you to do, you're going to pay another way, whatever, but you're going to be punished for it. There is no freedom. That's why a lot of people are moving out of states like New York and California, Illinois, to more conservative states. And I hope a lot more people move there that are conservative than liberals, because those states are safe havens right now, and they better stay that way, because it's a totally different state of mind for people, totally different life. It's just better. I mean, I visited you guys recently.
Mhm.
I went to Texas. I live in New York still. It's night and day. It's just crazy. You can't even compare it. Over there, if you wouldn't know that we have a virus around, if you didn't really look for any signs, you probably wouldn't even know, because the life just goes on normal. There's
Yeah.
nobody masked up. You
Nobody
just
can. Nobody will say anything to you.
Yeah,
You know.
it's just normal. I mean, it's
You
it's
know.
crazy. And then in California, you see videos, people go into a store with no
Different
mask.
planet.
Yeah, and people screaming at them and attacking them and pushing them out of the store and fighting with it's insane. It just doesn't make any sense.
Mm. But the conclusion is to it that they are afraid, and that's the reason why they're trying to do this. And I would consider this a really good sign. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that makes me really happy.
Oh yeah, me too. Look at this. We were talking about before, a lot of banks don't require Social Security. And just to
Mhm.
prove to people that that's true, if they don't believe us, they could go on Google or whatever they want, and they could type in this. Do you see the Google screen?
Nope.
You don't see that?
Nope.
Now you do.
Yep.
Okay, so they could type in which banks don't require Social Security number to open an account, right? They Google that and they come up with a list. Here are some banks and credit unions that don't require Social Security: Bank of America, Chase, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Self Help Federal Credit Union, Latino Credit Union. There's a lot more. Another one, which banks don't require Social Security: U.S. Bank, Chase Bank, TD Bank, Citibank, Wells Fargo, HSBC. It's insane. Most banks
Hmm.
don't even require Social Security, and they
Yeah, the
want to
main
allow,
banks,
yeah,
the
big
biggest
banks,
ones.
and they want to allow bank statements. They want to allow bank cards. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Anybody could
Hmm.
get anybody could get any of this stuff. A freaking utility bill or a bank statement, you come to my house, it'll take me 5 minutes. I'll Photoshop one for you and I'll print you one at home. It's,
Yeah.
it's 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 freaking insane, and people don't understand that. It's super easy to do. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't believe it. It's hard
It
to
is.
believe.
It is. It is just like, let's say, we have a house. Okay, there's a house. We have a family and all that, and all of this, and let's say everybody goes to work.
Hmm.
Okay, and we have our paychecks, and portion of that paycheck we have to put over here, uh, and like 10% of our paycheck put in for the house, you know, and because of that, we are allowed, uh, we are privileged to make any decisions in the house, right? What do you want to? You live over here, you pay for, you know, for the taxes, you pay
Hmm.
for this, for that, for the house, for bills, and you want to have any influence. Like, let's say, well, what do we do with this house? What kind of room? Are we buying a jacuzzi, or are we buying a hot tub and all that? Okay. So now, pretty much what the new administration did is they came into a charge of the house, and they go, we have to open the doors and windows because there are poor people over there. They want to come over and have better life over here. Okay, don't get me wrong. I have absolutely no problem with people coming here and having better life. But those people have to be screened. We have to know who's coming in and if they're worthy of having a status over here of being a citizen. You know, because there are very bad people over there, back there, and I can welcome anybody that's willing to share the goodness that this country has to offer. Okay, and but he has to commit to it and pay taxes and all that. So pretty much they open the door and windows. People are coming in, and all of a sudden, without paying anything, anything for any bills, they don't give a portion of their check for the house.
Yeah, they don't
They
they
decide
don't contribute. Yeah,
they get the privilege of deciding what we're gonna do with the house,
yeah.
and saying, "Oh, we're not gonna do a hot tub. We're gonna, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna tear down the wall over here because we want to make a bigger room." But why? Why they should actually have anything to say? If you, Paul, me, we met so many people over here, legal, illegal, and so many great people that are illegally over here. They actually work here. They uh, pay their taxes over here. And those people, in my opinion, that I personally know, I would love them to have a citizenship. But this is another subject. And they pay taxes. And in my opinion, if they are screened and they allowed to be a part of United States and be having a citizenship, I would love them to have a say. Well, who 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 they want to be in a leader spot and all that.
No, that's right. They're trying to paint Republicans as anti-immigrant, which is
Yeah.
totally bullshit.
Oh
It's
yeah.
totally not true.
It's actually the other way.
Yeah, yeah. I
I'd
mean,
say it's the other way.
we're pretty much all for legal immigration. If you're coming in here, you're clean, you got no criminal record, whatever.
Yep.
You're a hard worker, you're working, you're paying your
Oh yes.
taxes. And if people say, listen, if you're illegal, you can't pay your taxes, well, that's bullshit too, and you have no freaking clue what you're talking about. Because you
Exactly.
can pay your taxes. You don't need a
Oh
social
yeah.
security to pay your taxes. If you're illegal, I have friends that are illegal. They could get a tax ID number and they could pay their taxes to the IRS, and the IRS won't do anything to them. They will even get a freaking tax return. Okay,
Yes.
so if you don't know, don't say shit because a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
So if you're here illegally, but you pay your taxes, you came in through a visa or whatever, you're a good person, no criminal record. I'm all for an immigration reform to legalize people like that, just like you are.
Mm.
They should be legalized because they're working, they're contributing, they're paying taxes, just like everybody else. They're contributing to the whole country. So they should be allowed to live in it legally and have all the privileges that everybody legally here has.
On the other hand, there are other people that actually they want to take advantage of our social security system. That they don't want to work. They just want to sit down and collect a little bit of money
Yeah, but
of our money.
you see the
There's a
requirement.
huge problem in Europe for
No,
that.
no, no, I agree. But
You
there
know.
was just because you mentioned that, something came to my mind because a while ago they were talking about an immigration reform, and there was a proposition from the Republican side to
Four hundred
actually
thousand. Oh no.
to actually legalize people that work, pay their taxes, have no criminal problems and all that other stuff. But one of the requirements would have been that for the first 10 years that they get legalized, they cannot use the social help, like, food stamps and all that other stuff. They have to have a job, they have to have an income, and they have to support themselves no matter what. So they can't be leeches on that. As soon as they get legalized, they get into the food stamps and they get into all that stuff. It would be 5 to 10 years that they would have to be self-sufficient, and that's good. That's what I agree with. That would make people, that would make good people legalized. Because lazy is always going to be lazy. Even if they get
Yeah,
legalized, they won't be able to do that, and they'll just, they'll just lose that privilege.
that's exactly right. Um, and there are people like that, and this is what they count for, you know. And this is one of the ways of see democracy. The Democrats are socialistic party. They social they use socialism to actually gain the votes. And one of the ways is to promise people
A lot of free shit.
welfare,
Yeah,
welfare,
a lot of free
pretty much
shit.
welfare,
Yeah.
and people vote for that. The same exactly problem is going on right now in Poland.
Well, what did we discuss
You know,
before, Johnny? Why do they want to lower the voting age? What did you and me discuss a little bit ago? Remember that
but
discussion? That they wanted to lower the voting age because the young I think you and me and Peter actually mentioned it to you because I was talking to Peter about it with while we driving to your house, and then he talked to you a little bit in Texas that they wanted to lower the voting age to 16 instead of 18
okay,
because all the young people they always want everything for free. So
yeah,
what the proposition was that they would be required also to at least to be eligible to vote, no matter what age you are, you would have to have 5 years of employment, so you know how the whole economy and everything else works before you started voting on it. Because all the young people, they want everything for free, so they're always going to vote, even though they don't understand what they're doing. They're always going to vote for the
I
people
mean,
that promised them
you
free
know,
shit.
I can agree to this, but how many people, Paul, there are that they work all their lives over here
Oh yeah, of course, I
and they
agree.
want the stuff for free anyway. So
Yeah,
the minute you're gonna tell them, uh, they're gonna get something for free, they can quit their jobs and all that.
I
They
mean,
don't understand,
the
you
whole
know.
point is they would have at least a better understanding of how the shit works. That you're
Yeah,
working, you're
but
making money, you can, it's a little different than just coming out of school and living in your parents' basement.
yeah, the biggest problem is that this is not being taught to people. School's not gonna teach you that. School, this is not they're not gonna even touch this subject because if you stay stupid, it's so much easier
Yeah,
to control you,
yeah,
basically.
that's
So they're
true.
not going to teach you. The only people can teach you is your parents, your family. They're going to teach you how to come by in the society. Okay, friends, and if you grow and you're not taught, and you want to, and you seek some education, you will find it somewhere. Uh, and pretty much this is how you can get it. But if you are, and a lot of people are lazy, they don't want to educate themselves in this matter, and they don't have a family that cares for them in the way of educating them, helping them that way, uh, and they didn't get it from the family, they're just gonna be a leech in the system.
Well,
That's it,
they they want to attack that as well, and I'll show you
and they
something.
want it, they like it, they
No,
they
no,
want to
no.
keep it this
Yeah,
way.
but they want to attack the family structure, so the parents don't transfer their conservative values to those kids.
That's what, one of the reasons,
And one thing I
in my
want to show
opinion,
you,
why
I want to
why
show you
they
one
want.
thing because I was gonna send this to you a couple days ago and I totally forgot, and you would have freaking freaked out about it anyway. But would you believe? I mean, you would believe it's freaking California. There is a columnist that writes in a it's on a website. I don't know if this is somebody that writes in a newspaper as well. I mean, they probably have a paper going. It's VC Star. It's from California, and the person is writing. The title of the article is California should abolish parenthood in the name of equity. So they want to make um, make it illegal for you as a parent to raise your kid.
That, and it's even
Illegal.
better.
You
It's
know what
even
I'm
better.
saying? They want to make
It
that
goes even
illegal.
deeper. How
That's
did how
how
did
dangerous this shit is.
listen to this? I'm not really sure if this is actually legit because I was actually listening to a podcast, one of the podcasts that I listened to, and they were discussing that problem.
Hmm.
And I'm not really sure because I didn't look for it if it's legit or not. But the guy said that it goes even deeper. They want to, in the name of equality, they want to take a kid of a rich person and give it to
A
a
poor person.
family of a
Yeah.
poor person, and poor person kid give it to the rich people.
Yeah, it's legit because all of this is in this article.
Oh yeah,
It's
okay.
all it's in this
So
article.
it is.
I'm gonna send you this because I forgot
But
to send it to
it's
you.
a
Read it.
it's a name. Look, but it's in the name of destroying the family.
Yeah, of course.
Meaning the only group on this planet that you have, that you listener, that the only group of people that really truly take care, like really care for you. That's what it's about. Because they want to have the exclusive of teaching you the ways how you should go by the life. And they want to teach you their way. So when you grow up, you're compliant.
Hmm.
And this is what's happening right now in schools, despite, and family is in the way of this. And that's why the family is being attacked, you know?
Well, listen, even with this critical race theory, why was it you heard about this? Why was it that they actually the Biden administration was asked to name the parents that have a problem with the critical race theory, and they were, screaming at school board meetings and stuff. They wanted to label those parents domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a whole,
you know,
that's the whole subject
yeah,
of
you
family being
you hear
attacked,
something like that, I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you're thinking about it. Before you hear it, you're like, nah, that something like this would never happen. And then this kind of shit happens, and then you're like, what's gonna be next? I mean, if it could get if it got to this point, it's
Look,
gonna get worse. So what the hell are they
I'll,
gonna
t-
come up with next?
I'll tell you what. That it seems like they really, really, uh, they really want to do a lot to achieve what they really want, you know? And the most concerning thing, and this is what I would be the most afraid, is what they have in their sleeve if the things are not going to go their way, you know? That that's and so this is something, like you said, all of a sudden you wake up and it's like this is really happening. And how many things for last 2 years we had that some people said, hey, listen, I think this is gonna go this way and this is gonna happen, and you go like, no, this is too crazy. Those things are just gonna happen in the
Yeah, they
movies,
always
man.
call them conspiracy theories, and then
Yeah,
they come
yeah.
true.
And then a couple months later, you're in the middle of this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So listen, anything can happen. Anything you can read will could happen.
Right? Yeah.
And this is so disturbing because uh you don't know what kind of ground you start stumbling on, like you don't know what to do, like you don't know how to approach the problem, how to secure yourself. The only thing is, I have an impression that more people, they trying to buy media, by what they say, like they by taking over the social media, uh, and mainstream media, they trying to give us a perception that more people want whatever they say. And I think more people that think our way, or pretty much close to what we think, there are more people in society like that,
I'm gonna make a
which is a good
prediction.
thing.
I'm gonna make a prediction right now,
Okay.
so we can look at it in a by the end of this year, probably by December, we would know if it's true or not. So we know that the election is coming early November. I think it's November 8th, the date of the election of the midterms. So that's one. And because of that, have you heard that the Democrats are trying to um, kind of, I don't know if it's the right word I'm going to use, but abolish student debt? That all the money that the students owe for college, they want to just make it disappear. Did you hear about that or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So they've been promising that from the beginning when Biden took office, right?
Mhm.
They've been pressuring him to do it. The Chuck Schumer from New York has been tweeting about it every freaking day because I'm on his Twitter and I troll him like crazy. I hate the freaking guy. He's an idiot. But he's been talking about it all day, every day, and they keep talking about it, but they haven't done anything yet. Why do you think that is? Because my theory is this:
That's how they work.
there's thousands, pretty much millions of people
The struggle with this money.
that struggle with that and have a lot of student debt.
Yeah.
And they're going to be pissed at the Democrats all the way up until the election. And about a month to 2 months before the election, they're going to do that. They're going to scratch student debt, and all those millions of people that owed all this money are going to be so happy with the Democrats that that's the way that they're going to buy their votes.
They want to buy the
That's
votes. Yeah.
that's
They
what
want
I
to
think
convince
they're going
people
to do.
to
They're either
buy
going to
this.
do that before the midterms or they're going to do that before the 2024 election. Either one. But that's my prediction.
Uh, the only thing, what really sucks about it is that we're gonna pay for this because they don't have money.
Well, of
You
course.
know,
I mean, it's not just
like
going to
people
disappear.
don't
Somebody's going to have to
really
pay that money back.
people don't realize. They think, oh, they're gonna give us money. They're gonna give us money, but who's giving them money? They don't go to work from 9 to, they go, but we paying them.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the whole government, the payout that they take out the money and go and put it for your student loan. This is our payout. And this is the payout that you're gonna have to, like, if they're gonna, because they don't have money. So pretty much what they do, they make a hole in that payout that you're gonna have to fill in when you go start working later. This is called debt.
Yeah, it's going to go into our
Yeah.
taxes. And of course, I mean, it's going to have to be paid back one way or another.
So pretty much what they do, they don't have any money. They print out extra money to pay for those debt, for the debt that they have, the student loans, right? And we, with our taxes in the future, we're gonna have to do that. See, so the system pretty much works like this. They gaining power for now, but at least they have a power now, and they could do whatever they want. They want to, whatever they want to do, they do it right now, and they don't care what's gonna happen in 4 years. That we're gonna have to, that there's gonna be inflation actually right now as it is.
Yeah.
This is the direct result of those stimulus checks. Okay. But people don't know how the system works and they fall for it pretty much, The biggest lack of the society that there is, the biggest problem is that people do not understand how the system, how everything works. And the ratings of Biden you were showing, you were showing this? Yeah, they were showing over there that the ratings went down, right? From 60 to 50
Oh
to
yeah,
40.
they're super low.
Now it is
They were
like
saying
for
40, but
25
they're really in like high 20s right now. They
or
didn't even
like
show me the
about
real
30,
numbers.
yeah, something about 30s, yes. So, but you know why this is like that low? Not because they printed so many dollars and now we have an inflation, because people don't understand this. The reason why is because they go to the pump and they see higher prices.
Hmm.
They see higher prices at the register, and that's the only thing.
Empty shelves, yeah.
Yeah.
People are
But the
pissed.
problem is that they're gonna do all the shady stuff. That the result of those shady stuff we're gonna feel in 4 5 years. And that's the problem. People do not understand this. This is the biggest problem, you know, because we have to act now in order to have better life
Yeah,
in 5 years.
that's why we're saying that that bill should not pass because it makes it super easy to vote illegally. This is
Yeah.
not protecting elections, this is destroying fair elections. If you look
But
at the bill and you look at what is in the bill, not just listen to TV and what the TV station is telling you,
but they say,
you look into the bill. It's insane.
but they say, like they say in the TV is gonna make it better,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and they're gonna give me free money.
yeah, yeah. I know. That's how a lot of
So,
people think.
but they say they're gonna give you free money, so it's okay. I don't
That,
care. You know,
that's how a lot of people think, and then yeah, they don't understand that
that's
they're
the
gonna
problem.
be okay for the next year or two, but in the long run, they're gonna have it so much worse, and their kids are gonna have it so much worse if they're even gonna have kids. Uh, I don't know, man. People thinking like that, they better not have kids. So people thinking like that, don't have kids, please.
Yeah, it is insane. It is truly insane. But the only see, I think that a lot of people just woke up, and you can tell by how many people are moving about those ratings, which we don't know if they're legit or not,
Hmm.
but um, truly, what we can talk about like in this matter is when we're gonna see the results of the midterm, and then we will see exactly what is going on. I think, in my opinion, there are much so many people that uh, actually they sit down, they just go by the day, just like we do, with their families, going to work, go back, pay bills. They need to do this. They have a dentist appointment. They have this and that. They don't have time to go out and scream and do this and that. They will vote. That's pretty much this is the only way how they can engage into that system, right? And the reason is that's the reason is that we don't see those people chanting and all that, and I think that's the hope that we have,
And that's what they call them, the silent majority. You don't see
silent
them
majority,
anywhere,
yes,
but you see
because
them at the
they're
voting
pretty
booth.
much busy with their lives, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it
They
is,
don't. Yeah, that's right. They're not in public screaming. They're not at, most of the time they're not even protesting.
and they're reasonable people. Those are not the people that they will like scream in your face that you don't have a mask or something, you
Yeah.
know. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to bother any other people. They have their own problems. They have their
Yeah,
own
they just
hobbies
want to
that
be
they
left
want to do.
alone.
Yeah,
Let them live their own life,
and
and
when
that's it.
when
And the
there's the
same for you
time,
and everybody else.
and that's the hope for us. And when there's a time where there's truly the moment where they can take action, is over here
Yeah.
where the things
I'm
are.
I'm glad that we both agree that because Democrats are pushing this voting bill so much, that we can see that the vote still matters. And
Yeah,
hopefully it matters enough where enough people go and we get these suckers out.
yeah. I remember some time ago I had a conversation with you saying that I was actually really being afraid that the actions how government reacts to um like protests,
Hmm. It looked like they
uh
didn't care. Yeah.
they didn't care, and which would be really scary, because that would mean that they don't need their opinion. They don't need to react to what public wants,
Yeah.
which is really scary, because if that, we're nothing more than regular slaves walking
Yeah. I
around
mean,
and giving them our money, and that's it.
it's simple. If the vote
You
didn't
know.
matter, they wouldn't be doing anything in this
So
in this
the
case.
biggest positive thing is, as I said earlier at the beginning, is that this clearly shows that they are afraid, and that clearly shows that the vote still matters.
Yeah.
So, um, so whatever you do, and you're listening to this, you gotta get ready and go vote, because
Yeah. Vote red.
the
Not just vote. Vote red.
yeah yeah, and if you vote, uh, if you don't vote, you're gonna you're gonna see this in a couple of years. If you vote, it's gonna reflect on your life in a couple of years, or your kid's life. So it's a very, very important at this moment. Not even talking about what's going on in the United States, but what's going on in Europe, or around the world. Um, that this election will definitely influence this. Because there are some countries that really not are not not really that powerful among, I don't know, let's say uh, Russia or China, and they don't really know how to react to certain things because they're afraid they're gonna get uh, punished by other countries, like in a diplomatic way, and they seeing that our country over here, states, are not really in good shape. And if they see that we are like literally on one knee over here, they don't want to stand out, you know. So if the things that are going to get better over here in states are going to go back on their 2 feet, those little countries, they're going to stand next to us, and we can fight the tyranny. But now, um, as of, you know, as of the United States cannot do anything, you see what's going on geopolitically. The other countries are afraid for themselves, because if states over here they're gonna go down, they have nothing to say. They powerless, you know.
Yeah, they pretty much have no protection, and
Exactly that. So from what I'm trying to say over here is, if the over here the voting goes the right way, it's not gonna only give wind to our mm,
freedom. Yeah.
yeah, to our freedom, to wind to our wings. It's gonna give that wind also to other countries, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the small countries that are, let's say, afraid of Russia and China, like you said, and stuff like that. I mean, they're
Or
definitely
let's say
gonna,
Japan. What's going on with Japan, man?
yeah. What's going on with
They are
Japan?
afraid right now, really, really afraid of what's going on. Uh, Military, in the military way. You know, we have our bases over there, and because of, you know, because of us over there, they safe, you know. But if the things are not going to go really good over here, they're going to be left alone over there.
Yeah, I mean, those, like I said, those little countries, they always,
And
they're always stronger themselves with a strong United States behind them.
yeah, and as much as they need us, we need them,
Yeah, of course.
because they're going to be taken over. It's disadvantage to the United States as well. So this voting, it is really important. Some people don't even know because they don't go into the subject so deep. You know,
Yeah,
why are you
true.
sitting here? Get
No,
up,
true. I agree.
get up, get up, vote,
All
go.
right, I gotta go.
Yeah,
Too early. Too early.
yeah,
Not
go.
today.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I agree. This thing has to be stopped. But listen, I'm gonna mention one thing to you. All the details that we mentioned about the bill and what they want to push through and what documents are accepted, which is crazy, mind-blowing, that they actually want to push through. Most on the Democratic side don't know the details of this bill. That's why a lot of times they fight for it, because they think it's just for equal voting rights, and it's not true. But because they don't know the details, they don't know how damaging it will be if it goes through. Now, the whole thing is, there was also a study done about the virus that we have going on and stuff like that. And the study showed that 41% of Democrats thought that there is a 50% chance of you going to the hospital if you get the virus. 50%. And
yeah,
why did they think that? Because they were so misinformed and underinformed by the liberal media.
yeah,
They scared the shit out of them, and they don't even want to find out for themselves. They don't do the research and find out all the actual information. And they actually thought, 41% of those people thought that it's 50%, half 50% chance that you're going to go to the hospital if you get the virus, which is not even close to what the true number is. But like I said, we're not getting into detail on that stuff right now, but
yeah.
it's
But
insane.
you know, the principle of what you're saying is that whatever they say on the TV, they just dumbly, the like in the most stupid way they believe
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
It's
they
like,
believe him. They
oh,
blindly believe him.
they said that if I don't take out Fauci ouchie, I'm gonna go to hospital. Let me go take Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and this applies to, oh, if they pass the bill, uh, the votes are going to be more secure. So I agree. I want them to pass the bill.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, but imagine this. 2 years ago, all the Democrats were saying the elections are the most secure ever. And now, because they're afraid of losing, the elections are not
They're not
secure
secure.
anymore.
Yeah. No. But
That-
people's memory are very short.
yes.
So they,
Whichever
they,
way they tell them to go, they just go. It's like they're hypnotized and they're,
yeah.
okay, we're going to right today. Okay, let's go right. We're going left today. They're saying left. It doesn't matter if they said right yesterday. We're going left today.
Meh,
Yeah, yeah,
meh,
exactly. Exactly.
meh.
There was a video of a guy. I think I saw it on TikTok, and he was actually on a news channel somewhere or whatever, and they were talking to him, and he said, "What do you have to say to Democrats that did something or whatever?" And he was like, "I'm going to talk to them in their language so they understand." And then he went exactly what you did. He went, "Bah, bah, bah." They all understood that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous because it was on national TV, so it was funny. But
But
yeah, I
it's true.
mean,
Sadly, it is.
yeah, it's really funny. It's
You know
funny
what's
and it's scary at the same time.
but you know what's really depressing about the the horde of sheep is that you cannot talk to them. You cannot tell them.
No,
There's no
no
way.
matter what proof you're going to show them,
Yes,
they will not accept it.
that that is just
They will
that
not
is scary.
accept it.
That is scary because some people, I know some people, they have people like that in their families,
Yeah.
and
But
they
just like
try
I
to
said, it's like they're hypnotized.
explain. Yeah,
Nothing reaches them.
literally,
Yeah.
they're trying to show them. They're trying to explain, but they still think this way. You know,
Yeah.
they cannot think for themselves. They go like, okay, this is what you say. Okay, this is how it is. I think See, I always say, one of the most important things in life is just question everything. Everything.
Of course.
Question everything.
Yeah. Don't
Ask,
blindly believe in.
yeah,
Yeah, I
ask
agree.
why
Yeah.
with everything. Literally everything. Why is this way?
Yeah.
Why is that way? You know, and then trying to seek the as much as best as you can. Try to seek the answer. That's
Yeah.
it.
Don't be lazy. If
Yeah.
there's stuff, especially that can impact your life and your future and your kids' future, if you hear something, don't blindly accept it. At least do 5 minutes of research on a couple of sources, not just one on Google, because Google is, if you believe it or not, but Google has got a very um, liberal, um,
They have some agenda they want to fulfill,
yeah, that all the top
and
people
this
at
is how
Google
they
are
set up the
very
whole.
liberal, and
Yeah,
all their results for any kind of search are
they
so filtered out
yeah they want to
that they
show
only
you
show you also
what
one
they
side. Yeah,
want to show you.
yeah. I'm gonna promote a search engine. So if you guys want to really get a search engine that doesn't filter out results, go to DuckDuckGo and search there, and you'll find out exactly what you need to find out. And then you can double check those sources if you
Yeah.
want.
Well, that what I like to do. I like to check on Google, and then
And
that go
yeah,
exactly the same
exactly.
thing,
That's
and
the research I'm
see
talking
the
about.
difference,
That's the
and see
research I'm
the
talking about.
difference.
Compare it.
Yeah.
Compare it. Make your own opinion. Don't believe blindly what the hell they tell you.
What else you got?
What else I got?
Yeah.
I think it's time to finish. That's what I got.
Yeah. It's kind of getting late now.
Yeah, you're working tomorrow. I'm working tomorrow, so we
Yeah.
gotta end this today. And
We gotta go back to life.
hopefully everybody listened to the end, that they didn't just switch it off at the first minute because we look like, you know, immature amateurs. We're learning as everybody does,
We
and
are amateurs.
we're gonna try to get these podcasts as good as possible. Um, so we hope we hope you subscribe to the channel and listen to us and join in on the conversation in the comments and stuff. So Johnny and Paul signing off, I guess, right, Johnny?
All right. So wish you guys a good week.
We'll
And
see you next weekend.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
talk
talk
about
a little
something
bit
interesting.
later. Yeah.
Also, if you want us
Yeah.
to talk about something, write it in the comments and we'll figure out if we can talk about that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea too.
So see you later. Have a good night.
All
Have a
right.
good week.
All right.
And
Have
we'll
a good
see you
week.
next
See ya.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.